Tonight, missing man. Police need your help finding this person who also has a medical problem. Plus, trash troubles. There are growing pains when it comes to the new garbage system, but the city says you better catch on. And pesky problems. With all this snow on the ground, are we expecting a boom in the mosquito population this summer?
In sports, winter wonderland. It may be spring, but Mother Nature is taking a bite out of the golf season in the border city.
This is Newcap News with Nerman Esau.
Good evening. Onion Lake RCMP are asking for your help finding a 42-year-old man. Family members say they last saw Rodney Canapotato Wednesday after being released from hospital. He was suffering from complications related to epilepsy. He's described as 5'9", 180 pounds with shoulder-length hair. Now, if you have any information in regards to the whereabouts of Canapotato, you're asked to contact the Onion Lake RCMP or Crime Stoppers. It's been a little over a week since the new garbage bin system has been in place in the border city, and Lloydminster Public Works says some people aren't using them properly.
People are still putting out garbage in bags at the curb, and so we're going to be asking people to start using the carts that have been supplied. And then with the organics cart, we were getting a lot of contamination, a lot of garbage going into the cart.
Morrison says they are giving residents a couple of weeks leeway to catch on. In the meantime, they're focusing on getting the word out to the public.
The first couple of weeks, the Evergreen is going to be tagging carts to write a little explanation to let people know why what they did was wrong, but they're still collecting the bags at the curb and doing a lot of face-to-face with people.
For more information on how the bins work, you can visit the website at lloydminster.ca/green123. The state of small business in the border city was the focus as the Canadian Federation of Independent Business made a presentation to City Hall. Richard Truscott talked to council yesterday. He says the city does well by shortening the gap between business and property taxes, but that there's still room to improve.
In fact, if you look at this city versus many others across Alberta or across the country, Lloydminster is doing a pretty darn good job, but they're not perfect. And there are some areas where we could see some additional work and that would pay off huge dividends for local businesses.
Mayor Jeff Mulligan agreed with the presentation's findings, but says he felt it was too heavily focused on municipal government.
Small business is probably more plugged into the smaller government of municipalities. They probably don't have the same comprehension or understanding of many of the federal or provincial things. Therefore, the easy hit or the easy target or the easy to discern is municipal government.
The CFIB has 10,000 members in Alberta, with up to 300 coming from the border city. For the most part, if you need surgery to repair a broken bone, you'll need to travel to either Edmonton or Saskatoon. But plans for a new orthopedic program at the Lloydminster Hospital means that patients will be able to stay closer to home. The permanent orthopedic center will be the only one in the area, and money raised from this year's Lucky Lloyd Lotto is being invested in the program.
The industry and things we have, we end up with work-related accidents involving broken bones. Of course, kids are infamous for breaking bones, doing whatever it is that kids do. So there's a lot of, it helps where people don't have to travel so far.
Since its inception in 2008, the Lotto has raised more than $700,000 to support the Lloydminster Hospital. This year, organizers hope to raise $200,000.
It's great to, to pass the buck and say that, Saskatchewan government should be funding it, the Alberta government should be funding it. It's not happening for certain items, so the Health Foundation tries to step up.
The yearly Lotto offers more than 200 cash prizes, including a grand prize of $250,000. Now, the cutoff for the early bird draw is May 16th. Driving on our streets are proving to be somewhat troublesome, and the city says our recent harsh winter is the culprit for the inevitable potholes popping up everywhere.
We know that it's a particularly bad year for potholes with some of the spring freeze-thaw cycles that we got into earlier in February. Most municipalities are experiencing unusually high volumes of potholes.
Morrison says city crews are working hard to get ready.
We're hitting those main arterial roadways first, but we will go into residential neighborhoods if the severity of the pothole is really bad. We'll get some priority to those really severe potholes.
To report a pothole in your area, you're asked to visit the City of Lloydminster's website. The buzzing of mosquitoes is a sound we haven't heard for a long time, and one reason to be thankful for all this winter and snow that we've been seeing. But when the snow melts, there will be a lot of standing water, which is a breeding ground for mosquitoes. A biology instructor at Lakeland College says it's actually the mud that we should be concerned about.
Many mosquitoes actually lay their eggs on wet mud and not on water, open water. So if the water is really deep, it might not be so bad.
Dr. Cooney says a fast warm-up in the weather will create the driest conditions. This is the best scenario for the least amount of mosquitoes.
I think if we would get a fairly fast runoff, which is not good for the flooding, but a fast runoff would be good against mosquitoes because then they don't have time to grow up in those ditches and ponds and so forth.
As for right now, he says we can't really prepare for the mosquitoes, but because of the long winter, we can expect to see them in June instead of May.